Alright, looks like we're live. So hello everyone, especially Sloth, who's been waiting patiently and anxiously. Oh. Bum 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 da da dum. My weekend was nice. Nice 4th of July weekend. Just visited with a nice friend yesterday. Ba bum 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 ba da bum. So yeah, we're gonna continue the adventures of the Anal Lander and Sorcery 2. Actually, I should update it to Sorcery 2. I wonder if they actually have a separate category for that. Let me see. Not how they spell it. Sorcery. We actually do have it separate. So put Sorcery 2 then. Not that it makes any real difference. It's really the same EXE and everything. But yeah, it should be a nice, chill, relaxed day where I read for 8 hours straight and then I cry after the stream. I'm kidding. I mean, I will be reading for 8 hours straight, but I can handle it. Especially with you guys here to support me. Alright, so without further ado, let me get things launched up, shall we? Bum ba dun dun. Oh, thank you for the gigantic love. I appreciate it. The love and the gigantism. Ooh. Better get straight into the action. Got all this Market Square noise going on. Alright. So, I guess a small recap. The last time we played, we left... I don't want all this, horse noise for the moment. So, the last time we played, oh wait, let me move my, model. There we go. I think people do want to see things, right? So, the last time we played, starting on a different map, we left our starting lands of Anal Land. Don't ask. And we made our way through the forests and fields, and we had many different challenges. We had to face a witch, different rogues. We had to fight ultimately a chimera, and then that led us to the next point in our journey. Kari, in the city port of traps. This whole city is full of traps. So one of the things we discovered is that circular things are like traps. Actually, if you look really closely, look how this is not exactly in balance. There's like an extra symbol in here. You know, I wonder if there's something going on, and what does this mean? Right? This was on the other map too. Something similar to this. You know? What does that mean? Anyway, teleporter traps. So we found circles are like teleport traps. We got sent into the sewers. We fought some sort of werewolf thing. That ultimately we need to make it to the North Gate, but beyond just making it there, what we need are the 4 different spell lines from the 4 different nobles of Kare. So we know that one of them is undead, so they're probably in a necropolis. Let's just say that's an obvious one. I think somebody said somebody was in the Fallen Quarter because there's a blind beggar as one of them. One of them is legitimately dead somewhere. Maybe the necropolis, but maybe somewhere else. And then the 4th one is somewhere else. We don't really know. Alright, with that being said, we don't have any of the spell lines yet, so we better get to it, shall we? You return to the middle of the square. The creatures in the square mill about, talking in hushed tones to each other. Leave the square. Let's go down to the arch, I think. You walk between the narrow buildings until you reach a fork. To the left, the road continues towards some kind of bustling market, while to the right, it leads down a shorter street. In the center of the fork is a great bronze statue with some kind of pot at its feet. Look at the statue. The statue is of a giant brute wielding a club, and at its feet is a large pot filled with gold pieces. This must be one of Kare's many gods, with the pot intended for worshippers making offerings, although none of the passing creatures seem to be throwing any in. Look down the short street. Looking down the short street to the right, you see a sign above a doorway reading, "The Gambling Halls of Vlada." Several seedy-looking creatures mill about on the steps. Cheerful creatures go in, and miserable-looking ones come out. Now let's check out the statue. You go over to the statue and look into the pot. It seems to contain almost 20 gold pieces. Look up at the statue. Tilting your head, you look upwards at the statue. He is an imposing figure, at least 4 times your height and solidly armed. You did not recognize the god depicted, but his presence, so close to the gambling halls, suggests he is either a god of prosperity or a god devoted to punishing those who do not pay their debts. You think we should steal the gold, huh, Sloth? Alright, let's take all the gold for ourselves. Ooh. You reach down and scoop the money from the pot into your pouch. Easy enough. But then, a creaking noise makes you freeze. Looking up, you see the statue's right arm sweeping down towards you. Then you realize this must be the statue of Matak, that the metalworking gnome told you about. He mentioned a panel in its leg, but which leg? But you don't have much time to try to remember because you're under attack. Leap to the left. You jump left, straight into the path of the club. Oh no. which sends you flying backwards. Picking yourself up quickly, you see the bronze giant has leapt from its pedestal and is advancing towards you. Phaser spell we can cast? I guess I should have jumped backwards. We could summon a giant. We only have one of those. If we had sand, we'd make quicksand, but we don't. Control non-intelligent creatures. It's not really a creature. I could clone myself. I'm not liking one of these options. What if we just jump? I feel like we just messed up slightly. Let's jump backwards instead. Take the gold. Look up. Oh, let's leap back. Sorry, it still seems to be the same issue. Does it give us any different spells? No? I don't think so. Let's do this one. Let's clone ourselves so that he won't know which ones to attack. You cast the spell, splitting yourself into 6 copies. The statue no longer knows which to strike for, so it begins to swipe in a direction that will hit all 6. Your clones are knocked about like skittles, and if it were not for the fixed expression on the statue's face, you would be sure it was enjoying itself. That didn't really do anything then, because you just knocked them all away. Run for it. I guess we have to attack. Okay, wait, let's go back and not waste that spell. Let's just try this again. Okay. We are definitely taking its cash. Because I like the cha-ching of 54 gold. Leap back. And we'll draw our sword. Oh, it still hits us now, looks like. Okay, so we still lose the one stand either way. You draw your sword to engage the statue, and you rush forward, dodging the statue's stomping foot, but when your blow lands on the metal, it only sends a painful shockwave of your arm, and does no damage to the creature at all. The statue is leaning back for another swipe at you. You'll have to find this thing's weak spot, if it has one, or else you do not stand a chance. In the milliseconds available, you scour the creature for scratches, blemishes, anything that might suggest a chink in its armor. I'm just gonna say... left ankle? Oh, we just did a hit too. And that was the wrong answer. Well, this game lets us cheat. Let's cheat. Okay, let's just try it all over again. Leap back, draw the sword. Take a spot. Right ankle? There's no weakness there. You try to cut him in the right ankle, but the metal has no chinks or weaknesses there. Oh no. The giant, seeing where you are, lifted his foot to stomp on you. You jump clear just in time. Try it somewhere else. The leg? You race toward the creature's left leg, and spy a small metal plate. Twisting your sword around in your hand, you drive it into the crack and begin to lever the panel open. The giant flails this way and that, trying to shake you loose, but you are determined, and finally, the plate flies open. A blast of hot gas ejects from the statue. It sways and then topples face down into the street. You gasp with relief and take a moment to recover your breath. You have survived, and a count shows you are 18 gold pieces richer. That still only counts as one according to Gimli, but that was one big one. Alright, what are our options? We can go this way. I'm tempted to take the side street because if it leads us all the way this way again, then maybe we can go back down through this area again and get more stuff. Otherwise, there's the Halls of Vlad. We've heard of him. Or we can go to the left fork, which looks like it goes to the necropolis. So I'm thinking we'll take the side street. The road continues on between dense houses on either side. Then suddenly, you begin to smell a sharp, acrid smell. Burning. Looking up ahead, you see a column of smoke. Or is the district on fire? Okay, I don't think we need the spell. I think we just push onwards, but I'm always curious what spells are available. Magic defense. We hit sass in case there's danger. We can make a fog. Done a lot of options here, so I'm gonna say, let's just push onwards. You stride forwards, rounding a corner in the road until you see the source of the fire. It is the fire, but not a blazing house. Instead, it comes from an enormous forge set into a large blacksmith shop. The blacksmith himself is at work, hammering away at a flat-bladed sword. You approach the blacksmith and try to attract his attention by knocking a few of his display items off their shelves. But it seems the blacksmith is quite deaf. Years of hammering on sparking metal has left him quite oblivious to everything around him. Ooh, we could steal something, but I feel like we're so rich, you know? But we could steal something. We'll bag of 5 gold pieces and a decent broadsword, sorry. Now make a fine backup should you lose your longsword. Interesting, so I got even richer. I was prepared to spend money, but instead, we have even more money. And now we have a broadsword. I'm getting a collection of swords here, which is kind of neat. Maybe we should bring the wings out, because I did just steal from him, didn't I? You continue up the road, following the base of the cliff face until you pass a large, walled mansion on your left. Look at the building. It stands alone inside its own patch of grounds, and unusually, it seems to be in a state of good repair. A large L is carved on one gatepost. For Lorag, perhaps? The main road continues around a corner up ahead. So Lorag is one of the nobles. Let's approach the house. I think Lorag was a scholar? You enter the gate and follow a path to the front of the house. Between tall, well-tended trees, this place seems quite lived in. We'll creep around the side or go to the front door. To the front door. The door to the house is solid oak wood, decorated with elaborate carvings of vines and trees and serpents. In the middle is a great brass knocker. You rap 3 times. After a short wait, an elderly man in a gown opens a door, with a strange, spiky lizard creature winding around his legs. Yes, he demands? And who are you? You look a trustworthy sort. I'm a sorcerer like you. Well, he admits, sorcerers are not known for their social graces, certainly. He pats the lizard at his feet, clearly relaxing your company somewhat. Do we have something for him? I think we need his help. Please, I need your help. You certainly look like a drowning dog, he remarks coolly. He sighs. It seems you have placated him. I'm sorry to be rude, he says. In this city, you have to be careful. For every savior you meet, there's a Van Gorn waiting to slit your throat wide open. Please, will you come in? Thank you. The old man gestures for a spiny lizard pet to retreat. Step aside, Erisius, and let the stranger in. You step inside his house. The walls are decorated with ornate hangings, and on the walls are numerous curious artifacts. The man turns to you. Before you enter further, please, hand me your weapon. Give him my sword. The man accepts your sword and places it on a table by the door. You have a second sword in your pack after all. Come in then, he says, putting his hand out. My name is Lorak the Elder, and I am a scholar and a sage. He gestures you further into the house. This way, please. So we gave up a sword, but we have, like, 2 more. Alright, let's follow Lorak. You follow him. Oh, dab hit. Alright, let's do a dab hit first. The first glorious dab hit of the day. Thank you, Sloth, for that, by the way. Hope you guys are enjoying the narrations. It's a very text-heavy game, so a lot of talking, a lot of reading. Bada bada bum bum. Alright, choose everyone. Well, I'm glad you find it relaxing. Aw, thank you. Wait, was that working? Did the head pat work? I'm not sure if I saw that. Oh look, you see my screen. And then let me just try to activate it a couple times. Like let's try putting. Does that work? Yeah, it's not working right now. Well, today I had to relog into my Twitch in VTube Studio and OBS. So maybe that's somehow related, but hold on. Okay, wait, now let me try it again. Well, there we go. Alright. That fixed it. Hey there, devil. Sorry, I was just fixing the, Oh, there you go, with the head pat. I was just fixing that. Just as you came in. Okay. Well, with that fixed, we'll go back to the story. But yeah, hey, it's good to see you. Alright. You follow him into his study, an elegant room lined floor to ceiling with books. Look around the study. You glance around at the shelves lined with hundreds of volumes on magic, maps, learning, weaponry, falconry, carpentry, and every other subject you can imagine. The only gap in the shelving is for a painting of a young man, Lorak himself, perhaps, though it does not look like him, and the tag below reads, Krishanti. The scholar's pet is winding around his leg. He ruffles its spines absently. There, Eurystheus, he murmurs. That's a good beast. Ask Lorak about the painting. Who is that? Lorak scowls at you. Have you come to make conversation, or have you come with a true purpose? The old man seems to have a thought, and goes over to a cupboard, pulling out 2 glasses. Some wine while we talk? I guess we accept it? I will drink, you declare. He pours you a glass. It is rich, delicately flavored, and warms you to your guts. I think that healed us our one stamina. Alright, we'll get right to the point, because he wants us to get to the point. I'm told you can help me open the north gate. He looks at you seriously. You're on a mission, I can see that. But is your mission to destroy Kare, or to save it? The truth is we're only passing through, but Kare should be destroyed probably. It's such a horrible city. I'm only passing through. You reply, to the Baklands? No one travels to the Baklands without a reason. You must be strong and intelligent if your story is true. Let me see. He goes over to his bookshelf, returning with a paper folder. You know, of course, how magic comes to be in this world? I feel like we will say no because we haven't really heard it in the game, but we do know that magic is from like the stars. Oh, he answers the same thing. Magic comes from the stars. The stars above create the power and the force that sorcerers channel for their work, and so the powers that are available are determined by the stars, not by the form of the spells themselves. Go on. I am a humble scholar, but the question I have set my life to answering is this. Are there other ways for magic to be wrought? You mean other kinds of magic? No, not other kinds. Only other forms. Here, I will show you. He opens the folder and spreads out several sheets of rough paper across his desk. Ooh, Nargo, thank you so much for the gifted subs. You were the absolute best. Thank you. And good afternoon. Welcome. Always a pleasure to see you. And not to be outdone, Sloth comes in with his own 5 gifted subs. And you guys have started a hype train as well. Well, thank you so much. You guys are the best. And if you fight over the hype train, then I'll just keep saying that you're the best over and over. But no pressures. Ooh, is this the creature here in the picture? With its tail? Let's see. So he spreads out the papers, the sheets of rough paper across his desk that contain a pattern of strange symbols grouped in threes. Okay. These were discovered painted on the walls of the Dadule caves. He explains, I have paid handsomely to have them smuggled to me. Even the first noble Akari does not know I have them. And if he did, his rage would be terrible. Do you know what they are? Tell me. I have no idea. He grins excitedly. They are spells, but not spells as we would have them. They were painted by cave people before the Dark Ages, over 3,000 years before Kalandra discovered the crown. They perform the same magic because the stars have not changed, but as you can see, the spells themselves are different. See this one? He draws out a sheet of paper, on which is drawn the following symbols. It almost looks like law or wa. Let's see if we can guess it. I can guess its effect. Yoan, he replies with interest. So if it's law, then it's a form of telepathy. If it's backwards, if it's a wall, then it's a spell of protection. Let's try telepathy. Spell of confusion. Oh. Based on the images found with this spell, I believe it is a spell of confusion, one that will muddle and befuddle any creature whom it is cast. We know a similar magic now, but of course the incantation has changed. Wait, do we know the spell? What causes confusion? Let's go back to the start. Well, we know dumb. This is one. No, that's clumsy. It's not unintelligent. This one, dim. muddle its mind. I believe I know it. Is that so? He laughs. Then please, do not cast it on me. I'm quite muddled and befuddled already. He moves a paper aside, and it brings out another on which is painted these ones. What do you make of this one? He asks. I'm gonna say protection this time. Oh yeah, congrats on the new emote. I don't get it. What is the emote? Oh, a gift for you, it says. Oh, nice. Now I'm gonna guess spell protection. Damn it, I'm wrong. Yes, again. Spell of healing? Oh my god, he doesn't... We kept getting them all wrong, so he's like, get out of here. Alright, hold on, we gotta go back a second. And talk to him again. We asked him about the painting. We accepted the glass. We asked about the north gate. We're passing through. Do you know how magic comes to be in this world? Yes. Good, then you understand what I will show you now. Okay. Well, now we know. Someone say I know. They're spells. Exactly, he nods appreciatively. They're spells, but not as we would have them. Alright, from the Dark Ages. Yeah, we can guess its effect. This is a spell of confusion. Oh my god, that is not a gift. That is not the kind of gift I was expecting. How could something so nice be so rude? That's hilarious. Alright, so it's a spell of confusion. He looks at you with great interest. Perhaps you are indeed a great magician, he says. That is quite right. I believe it is a spell of confusion that will muddle and befuddle any creature over whom it is cast. We know a similar spell now, but of course, the incantation has changed. He moves the paper aside and brings out another. What do you make of this one? So we know it's not the first two options. It's not going to be confusion, so we're going to say mind reading. Quite right, Laura clasps his hands. Well then, I see you truly are a sorcerer. Here then is my puzzle. He reaches over for another folder and opens it slowly and cautiously, as though the contents may try to bite him. I'm gonna say wait. He lays a sheet out on the desk. This spell was found inside one of the deepest caves, a place so old and ancient it has never been revisited since the time when these people set their home fires all across the Shamutanti hills. The painting beside it indicates this was their most powerful, most terrible magic. But as you see, the spell is partially lost. You understand his meaning. On the pages are drawn 2 symbols, not 3. The last symbol is unreadable. The scholar leans in urgently. A rockfall destroyed part of this picture. But dearly I wish to know, what was the last character? I believe I know. Yeah, we really don't know, chat, but we're gonna guess. And if necessary, we'll go back and guess again. He nods, never taking his eyes from your face. He hands you a fresh sheet of paper and a quill. Draw it for me, he says. Okay, that was the wrong one. With the brush, you paint a Z. The scholar watches intently as you work, then lowers his eyes, taking the page. He considers it carefully, before shaking his head. No, it does not make sense. Every spell, both in our language and in theirs, must follow certain rules in its construction, which few truly understand, and the symbol cannot fit. Let me try again. The backwards L. Holding the brush with arm outstretched as you are taught, you draw the symbol L backwards, upside down. The scholar considers for a long time, breathing through his thick beard. Then he nods deeply. Yes, I do believe you have it. He looks up. Do you know the spell? What does it do? No one knows, but I remember what I saw in the caves of the Dadule, and it made my skin shiver. What did you see? He only shakes his head, his gaze far away. These hills, he says, were once a very powerful place. Very powerful indeed. He flies away his pages, taking the one with your drawing on it with particular care. Now, I may aid you in return. You wish to learn the spell for the North Gate? I don't mind giving you my line, although it is my secret to keep. Here it is. Tumblers, too, sealed deep inside. Where can I find the other lines? He shakes his head. The keepers of the lines are all leading citizens, but where they are, I do not know. At least one of them, Shinva, is dead, but I've heard it said he still haunts his tomb in the necropolis. But please, before you go, follow me. He gestures across the room to a bookshelf lined with artifacts. You follow him across the room. He opens a drawer in the tall cabinet and pulls out something that looks like a shock of green fur. Put this on for me, if you will, he says. I wish to try an experiment. Take the wig. You take the fur and find it is, in fact, a green wig. It is much like the one you already own. You dig up your own and return the other to Lorai, who nods. Ah, I would have taken a second wig. Now, Lorax says, put it on. He is pulling something from his own pocket as he speaks. What looks like a skull cap made of white cloth. You pull the wig over your head, feeling quite ridiculous. Lorax smiles and puts the white skull cap on his own head. Then he begins to cast a strange-sounding spell, speaking in syllables that sound more like goblin than an ancient tongue of magic. We might not cast a spell, but I'm curious. Resurrect the dead, okay. Rap, talk all languages. I think that's what we should probably cast, if anything. He has the skull cap on, which is for the tell spell. Magic resistance. Suss out danger. Let's try a rap. my god. Cast the spell. You are immediately able to understand the words Lorag is saying. My will becomes your will. You are a mere pet, a creature, a subject. Do you understand me? He is trying to take control of your mind telepathically, but since you can understand his words, they are not effective, and you simply laugh in reply. You see him try to alter the shape of the magic, twisting it this way and that, but nothing works. It seems your protection spell has foxed him. After a few minutes, he removes the skull cap and nods. Thank you. It would seem my calculations were in error after all. He smiles weakly. Lorag shows you to the door. You retrieve your sword as you go. Oh my god, I think he was trying to take control of us. I wouldn't want that. A jerk. You return to the main road. You turn down a side alley, past large houses on either side. On the left, you can just make out the roof of a mansion, from which a tattered flag is flying. The pendant is blue and gold, and bears a crest, depicting stars shining above an open book. When the wind catches the flag and lifts it, you can briefly make out a letter in the black, along the near edge. An L, perhaps. We are in a city of traps after all. And it would be a shame to try to kill him though. You head on down the alley, which grows narrower as it approaches the square. Oh, we're back to the square again. I was hoping to kind of go up higher. Maybe we can loop around and then see the blacksmith again? And this time, not steal from him, but buy his equipment. You head up the road toward the giant statue once more. The statue lies face down in the street. A few locals are now sitting on the back of the statue, eating their lunch. Yeah, no, it's not gonna let us go back up this way. Let's go to the left. The halls of Wada. You enter the shade of a long hall filled with bodies and smoke, but strangely silent. No one is speaking. The only noise is the constant rattling of dice, which rolls around the raftered ceiling like thunder. Only the occasional cheer and curse breaks the mood. By the door is a booth, and the gaming tables are out in the main hall. A great cheer goes up from one of the tables. You go over to the booth where Sven lady's handing out gambling chips. She smiles at you. Welcome, good lady, she coos. Croons. In a voice which sounds like a crocodile pretending to be a songbird. How much can I get you? Do we really want to gamble? I feel like we have plenty of gold. But we could have even more, I guess? Now, how much should I take, you ask? I'm new here. Oh, she purrs. We love new players here in the halls of Lada. You give us all of your gold. No real money is allowed on the premises. Then, when you leave, we give you what you've still got. I mean, what you've won. It's very simple. Okay, well, what's good about this is that we can still go back in time, so we can try it, and if they try to pull anything on us, we can just reverse time. And yes, we should definitely dab hit before we gamble all of our money away. Let's give her the money. Let me warm this up. Reluctantly, you hand over all money. The spin lady counts it out slowly and meticulously, as though she was not very good at counting. Then she hands over 59 chips in an assortment of colors. Have fun, she says cheerfully, gesturing to the gaming floor. Okay. You walk out into the hall. Players of all races and descriptions sit either side of two long wooden benches, starting games with each other, fighting them out, and then exchanging chips and moving on. It is like a kind of stately dance, played with great dedication and almost entirely in silence. An old man, a grizzled sailor, and a bristly innkeeper are waiting to play. You notice the old man has only one arm. Oh look, they're smoking a pipe too right here. Anyway, cheers everyone. This dab hit brought to you by Sloth. Oh, they're both smoking. Nothing like some nice cold strawberry juice to settle the throat. Alright. Look at the tables. The tables are arranged in different sections by the size of the bet. Ooh, we want the big one. And a number of dice to be played. Sad-looking creatures move down from high-stakes tables to lower ones. Brassy and bold creatures move up. At the 2 chip tables are the old man and the sailor. At the table with the 10 chip bat, the innkeeper's waiting to play. The old man and the sailor have just finished a game. The sailor must have won because he stands, cracks his knuckles, and moves to the 5-piece table. At one end, games are being played for stakes as low as 2 gold pieces. At the other end, players are betting 20 on each game. And those tables also offer long games with 4 or 5 dice each, alongside shorter 2 or 3 dice games. But not all the tables have players ready to play. You look across the tables. At the table with the 2-chip wager is the old man. At the 5-stake table is the sailor. At the other end of the room, at the table with a 10-chip stake, the innkeeper is ready. And nobody, I guess, is at the 20-chip table? Alright, 10-chip it has to be then. Alright. We've won of all kinds, at least. We're gonna guess 3 4s. Because that's very plausible. Oop, 1 second, my grandmother's calling me. I probably have to put the cat in jail. Yep, the kitty cat's going into the kitty jail with me. But he gets a little treat for it, so don't feel bad for him. Okay, so I was thinking 3 4s because it's highly plausible between us that we would have it. Then he'll go for something, and then that will help me know what he has probably. And then if it's like a 2 or hopefully a 2. But if not, then I can move it to something else. I don't know. Let's bid 3 4s. So he bets 4 3s. It's very plausible that he would have 3. We have 1. Maybe we should bet 5 then. This makes me uncomfortable, but there's certainly a decent chance of this. He says 6 of them. Okay, we're gonna call on that one. Because he would have to have 5. Because we only have 1. He says, well, I'm saving up trying to earn a little more. Then you'd better play better than this. He says 1 3. Weird. So you've been in Kare a while? Question mark. I only got 2 1s. I thought I was gonna get 3 1s. I'm gonna bet 3 1s. Because the chance that he has a 1 is high. And it's conceivable with 5 dice that I could have 3. He says 3 4s. We're gonna say 4 4s because we have 2. He's probably guessing 3 because he has 2. Are we seeing any wolves? I've seen wolves in plate armor. He says 5. So it is possible that he could have 3, but it's unlikely. I've heard people muttering it in my inn. Armored wolves stalking the streets at night. Yeah, we beat him. What Slaw says was he gonna gift more subs if he actually had a full set. Oh geez. Yeah, if he had destroyed us, that would have been painful. But nope, I'm a genius. No, by the way, here. Do you guys want me to brag for a second? So, I was looking at generics because my brother was checking out stuff with, because we have like the 23andMe, and he was looking at ChatGPT, asking it about like what genes are for what certain things and such. So I decided to try it, and I asked ChatGPT about what genes are connected with higher learning and consciousness, right? Intelligence basically. And so it gave me the genes, and then I asked it, how do I look up these particular genes in 23andMe? And it gives you exactly the codes that you need to type in to search and how to get there to the right spot. And so I searched all of them, and while it's not perfect, I'm in the upper echelons and in the top 20% of people in terms of intellect, in terms of genes. So yeah, I'm happy. Anyway, brag over. Now, now that I said that, we're gonna lose this next dice roll, right? That's how it works. Let's begin with 2 ones. He says 3 ones. Let's try 3 threes. 4 ones, okay. The chance if he has 3 ones is extremely low, right? So we're calling. What the... All I can say, chat, is that, look, I was smart enough to know that I was able to call it, right? I called that we were going to lose this one. So that means I'm still the smartest, right? But yeah, the chances that out of his 3 dice he got all ones was pretty low. He says, ooh, a giant 3 fours. Oh, thank you, Slaw. You're bringing us all back from the dead with that one. Alright. So, we can't kill him on this because the chance that he has 2 5s with our 4s, with our 1 4, that's the chances are too high for that. We basically can only gamble 4 4s. Which is definitely a bit of a gamble. The chances that he has 3 4s is going to be pretty low. He probably only has 2, but the chance that we have 2 is still pretty decent out of our 4 dice. Unless he completely lied. No, he didn't. Okay, so we know that this is impossible because we only have 1 and he only has 3 dice. So we're definitely calling. He did have 3 4s, but we still beat him. Take that, innkeeper. Ooh. Okay. We're gonna bet 1-1. Actually, let's do, yeah, let's do 1-1. 2-1, so he hasn't won. We're gonna say 2 3s now. Let's say we're gonna say 3 3s. The chance that he has a 3 is low. So if he says 4 3s, then we can probably call him. It's a little bit risky, but it's better that we call 3 3s instead of him calling 3 3s. He lost on that one. Now, he had no 3s, but we did, so that's why it's better that we called 3 3s instead of him. I hope you guys are learning what I'm trying to explain here. So we have one of every number here. That's really crappy. But he has bet 1-1. So it's pretty much guaranteed that he has a 1. And if we just say that we have 2 1s, then he's gonna have to bet 3 1s. And then he's gonna lose. Wait, what? I thought I bet 2 1s. Wait, what? I was the one who bet 2 1s. He was cheating me. He asked me this one, and then I said I heard no one leaves Kare. I bet 2 1s. And now he's betting 2 1s again? That's not allowed. He definitely just cheated me there. That's okay. Alright, you're from Analand. I recognize your accent. We used to have more visitors to Kare before the council grew so paranoid of outsiders. So now we can call them and win. The game is ours. We now have 69 chips. Get change table. Oh wait, is there nowhere? Oh. Look at the tables. And thank you for that. The sailor and team finish a tense game. The sailor must have won because he stands, barks a laugh, and moves to the table with a 10-chip bet. The innkeeper's now broke, and with a sorrowful chuckle, he salutes to the general crowd and staggers from the hall. The pious-looking monk steps into the hall, looks about, and then sits down at the 10-chip tables. Someone curses from the back of the hall, but no one seems to notice. I'm wondering if we wait and then one of them will win and then they'll become a 20-chip game? You sit back and watch for a while. The players on the tables form themselves into pairs, settle down and play in a deathly silence. The rattle of dice fills the hall like the clash of swords in a barrack room. Nearby, on one of the tables, a 10-chip wager, the sailor and the monk have played each other. Aha, to do look. Wait. At the table with the 10-chip stake, the sailor and the monk are sitting in tense silence. The sailor and the monk have just finished a game. The monk must have won because he stands, and with a beatific smile to everyone present, he swaggers from the hall. Aw, I wanted to face him. Ooh, a hungry-looking beggar girl enters, takes a seat at the table with a 10-chip bet. Well, it's gonna go the 10-chip then. We're taking the money from the beggar girl. If that had been 4 1s, that would have been so powerful. So we're gonna throw them off and start with 1, 2. They say 2 2s. I'm gonna say 4 1s. The chance that they have 1 1 is very high. they don't have a 1, we're screwed, but they did have a 1. The round is ours. Basically, chat, you guys should never play dice with me. I've always wanted to come here. This is where the best players in Kare come to play. If they say 1, 3, I'm gonna say 2 1s, then I wish you luck. They say 2 2s. So they had bet before this 2 1s. I'm gonna guess 3 3s, because the chance of them having 1 3 is very high. They didn't have one, darn. Alright, we have a crappy situation here. So we're betting 1 1. I say 2 2s. I'm gonna say 3 2s. I'm gonna say 3 4s. We're gonna call. There is a chance that they have 2, but we can't go higher than that because we don't have good dice for that. They did have 2. So we're now currently behind, but that's okay. I say 2 2s. We're gonna say 3 3s because again we need a edge. We need to hope that they have 1. Please have 1. Please have 1. They did. Okay, we're good. All right, 3 against 3 now. How about 1 2? They say 1 3, so they have at least 1. I'm gonna say 3 3s. Because we have 2, and so they have at least 1, I think. And so they're not gonna want to bet 4, but they might, and if they do, then we'll call. Yeah, round's ours. Ooh, nice, okay. Okay, then we'll open with 1 1. We're gonna go 2 1. They say 2 2s. We're gonna say 3 2s. Because they probably have a 1 and a 2. That's what I'm guessing. Yep, round is ours. You see? So we had bet originally 2 1s, so the chance that our hand would be exactly 2 1s and a 2 would be high in her mind. So for us to then turn around and say 3 2s, when she only has 1 2, would make the computer or the other player think that you only have 2 2s on the table. So because we lied in the first part, we throw them off. So, let's see. We'll just start with 1 1. They bet 2 1s. That means they have a 1 as well. Which is awkward because at this point, if we call them, they'll be correct. We should have lied in the first place, actually. So instead, we're gonna lie about something else. 2 4s. It's unfortunate because we were lost either way there. If we called, we would have lost because it would have been correct. And so we had to guess something. Okay, so now they're starting with 1. So now we're gonna win because we can say the 2 1s and she can't call it or guess anything else because it'll just lose. So here we won. Nope, the round is absolutely finished, and in fact the game is as well, madam. And here we are. 79 chips. Let's try staying put this time. Actually, no, let's change table. Aw, thank you, Sloth, for that. Cheering on all of us. Let's see. Over on the tables with the 2 chip stake, the old man and the sailor finish a close game. The old man is now broken. With a sigh, he slinks from the hall. A mysterious red eye steps into the hall. A creature with only 1 eye gets up, slobbering, and runs out of the hall. It seems it has lost the other eye in a bet. Look at the tables. You look across the tables. The lower stake table is the sailor. At the table with the 5 chip bet is the beggar girl. Across the room, at the high stake table, is the red eye is ready. Ooh. I'm a little bit scared of facing this red eye. We have so many chips. I feel like we should just leave. Leave while we're ahead, right? I think that's a smart bet. We don't even have anything to spend all this money on. Then again, we've been waiting for a high stake table. No, we should cash out. That's what the wisdom and intelligence is telling me. You have had enough. Plus, we want to get back to the story, right? You return your cash. You return to cash your chips at the booth. The Spring Lady smiles and exchanges your chips for 79 gold pieces. You have done well, she exclaims. You reply with a smile and head back to the street. Okay. You head up the road toward the giant and once more, the fallen statue is starting to sink into the soft earth below it. We could go this way, but that leads to the necropolis, and I'm not really ready for that because it also leads out. So let's go back up to the square and see if we can go down this other path. Okay, we can't. Oh, or we can go up this way. I think we should go up again. You make your way up the alley, only to find it blocked about halfway along with a colossal slick of what looks like vegetable waste. The slimy mass pours out of a large warehouse building, as though someone has allowed a spell of soup making to get out of control. You approach boldly. As you get closer, you start to see that the green slimy mess is very gently inflating and deflating. It is breezing a very, very big... and very big. You back away once more. There's no way past this thing, whatever it is. Oh, we can take the side alley. Maybe we can go back down and see the blacksmith. You make your way between the buildings on the right side of the road, slipping around the side of a high wall until you merge into a wider street once more. To your left, a line of buildings has been constructed out of the side of a natural cliff face. Above them is a thick area of trees. On the right is the walled area you found your way around to get here, whatever it is. It uses the option to cast a spell, so let's see what's going on with that. And yeah, being able to make soup with a spell sounds excellent, right? But you don't want to accidentally create a sludge monster. Okay, we can become a giant. We could find safe passage if we're in danger. We can float in the air, but there's no reason for that. That didn't let us actually fly, just float. We can suss for danger. Okay, so those are the options. Let's look up into the trees. Did you see something move between the pines that line the ridge? You stop and stare, but make out nothing. Perhaps a movement of a low shadow, but perhaps it is the sunlight through the shifting branches. But certainly those trees must be thick with wild animals, and the creatures that live here must be plagued by them, unless the creatures that live here are more dangerous themselves. Look at the high wall. Turning about, you crane your neck to look at wall. It is several times your height. Whoever lives here is keen to keep the inhabitants of Kare out, or keen, perhaps, to keep whatever is inside in. The surface is rough and pockmarked with age. At the very top, something gleams. Something gleams. Climb the wall. You feel over the stones for decent hand and footholds, and then, checking both ways to make sure no one is watching, you begin to scale the wall. But it is high, and about halfway up you realize you are tiring, but you are too high to simply drop down. Whatever it is sits at the top of the wall, glints, still several moves from where you are. Keep going. You keep going, ignoring the burning in your arms and legs. Once you reach the top, you'll be able to rest. But in your final reach, you put one hand on top of the wall and cry out with pain. It seems the gleam you saw from the street was a rack of metal spikes designed to stop people climbing up. Blood dribbles down your arm, and worse, the shock makes you let go. You fall to the ground painfully. It seems whatever is behind the wall is going to stay behind it. Well, that's painful. I guess we can make ourselves big and then, reach over the wall, maybe? Let's try it. You cast a spell inflating from your boots to your neck until you are 3 times your normal size. You're now about as high as the wall itself. Vault up onto the wall. You put your hands on top of the wall, pull yourself up. You notice various metal spikes under your palms, but they are not sharp enough to puncture your hide-like skin. From your position, perched on top of the wall, you have a pretty good view into the yard beyond. You look across the wall into the yard. The building beyond the wall is several stories high and has iron bars across its windows. Guards patrol around outside, all their eyes closed, but there are no visible prisoners. It seems the souls who are locked up here are not allowed out to exercise. Drop down the other side. You drop down over the other side of the wall, just as the spell fades. You seem to be in some kind of prison yard. Barred windows look down into drunk underground corridors, echoing with the moans and whispers of trapped prisoners. A flight of steps leads down near where the base of the wall. By the way, any grammatical errors are not my fault. It's literally typed this way. And thank you, Sloth, for the dab hit. Which is definitely gonna put us over the edge, that's for sure. There are guards everywhere across the yard. Let's go down the steps as this warms. You are close to a set of steps, so you make your way underground to a long, dark, corridor lined with cells. The closest, number 6, is just by the steps, but the guard has a guard post posted directly outside. He's peering intently through the window of the cell. It does not seem to have noticed you. Pop, we can throw a pebble and make an explosion. Do lightning bolts. Zap. Can't do zip, although I really wish we had a green ring. How about sleepiness? Speed. Stench. We could create a stench. That might actually work. That might make the guard go away. Anyway, cheers everyone. Oh, we can create an illusion. Well, thank you so much for that. Alright, let's try again. Let's make an illusion. Ooh, do we want a swarm of locusts or a flash flood? I'm thinking the locusts. You summon a swarm of locusts, but the guard seems unaffected. From what you can see, his eyes are closed, and your illusions are purely visual. Oh. Let's try the stench one then. You fill the corridor with a terrible stench that makes the guard double up and choke. Your nose plugs keep you safe, but the guard cannot cope. He rushes down the corridor and up to the fresh air, gulping madly. I am leaving the door unattended. The guard is gone, but this corridor won't stay quiet for long. Okay, I don't think we have any keys, right? We just have a spell wine. So let's use the spell to open the door. And that makes sense, yeah, if his sight is gone, then you'd have an enhanced sense of smell. So Dop is the unlocking spell. You cast the spell, and the tumblers of the prison cell turn. The elven inside the cell is on his feet already. He almost knocks you down as he barrels out of the cell. This way, he says, pointing to a different corridor you hadn't noticed. It's a supply entrance. You race up a set of stairs, heading toward a patch of sunlight, and emerge in an alleyway on the other side of the prison wall. The elven at your back. You emerge into a quiet side street and begin to weave and duck through the alleys. The elven, weak from his long stay in a tiny cell, can barely keep pace with you. But it's filled with such joy to be free that he laughs even as he trips and stumbles. Left or right? Let's go left. At the first junction, you turn left. Do you know where you're going? Asked the elven, but there isn't time to reply. Turn left. At the next junction, you'll left. The elven is flagging. You cannot keep running like this. Go on, he gasps from several strides behind. I'll hide here. Help him. You're nearly free, you reply, grabbing Elvin under your arm. I mean it, he hisses, shaking himself free. I'll hide, you idiot, while you distract any more guards with your running. Now go. Good plan. It would have been, the elven replies. And you turn to see he's quite right. Another guard has entered the alley behind you. He opens his eyes, and a moment later, the staggering elven is no more. Oh my god, the stench of burning flesh in your nostrils. You race down the alley. Quite suddenly, you march out of the alleyway into a narrow street filled with smoke. You force yourself to stop running and catch your breath. Wait a minute, I think he just opened his eyes and did a cyclops and turned him into a charred nothingness. Okay, wait a minute. We're gonna trust him this time. Maybe we should go a different way. Turn right. Turn left. Leave him. Turn right. Oh, we got away. Now we're all the way back down here again? Push onwards. We saw this before. Ooh, the blacksmith. Approach him. Oop. I'm getting a call. Hold on. I think you can't maybe allowed to leave. Alright, looks like he gets to be free. Hold on 1 second. Alright. So, we could steal something again? That seems insane and cheap as hell. Let's tap his arm. You walk over and tap his arm. The blacksmith jumps. Didn't see you there, he bellows to you loudly. The man is clearly not that bright. I didn't mean to scare you. Not scared. You replies, me? Of you? Nah. Tell me about your swords. A blade of large hand. Large hand? It's large handry. Try the blade. Alright, so we reach out to try the blade, but the blacksmith catches your arm. I warn ya, he says. Once you've tried it, you won't want any other, and it's not a cheap of lard. I'll risk it. The blacksmith shrugs and releases your arm. Gar on, then. You pick up the blade and swing it through the air. It sings. The weight is perfect. The metal sharpened. The balance so delicate it becomes almost an extension of your arm. This is the finest blade you've ever held. How much? 40 gold pieces. 40? That's right, 40. Haggle? I'll give you half that, you begin. But the blacksmith only laughs. You aren't talking to a child, he replies. 50 or else. I'll show it to the next one by. God, 40 gold pieces, that sounds a lot. But that's probably even better than our +2 blade. It's probably like +3 or something. God, and we have the money. I'm kind of tempted. What else are we going to do with this money? I'll pay it. You consider for a long while and then agree. 40 gold pieces, you reply. Here you go. You count out the coins and then take the sword with venerable care. The line of it is unblemished. Its edge is probably the straightest thing in Kare. A test swing rewards you with a gentle whistling sound. The blade is superb. Let's take a look. +4 legendary sword. I accept. I accept. Also, we need some more music for a second here. Hold on, hold on. Let's put on something else. Alright, that'll do us. Wait. Hold on, let me turn it up. Just a little bit. Okay. Now let's ask him about wolf armor. Do you make wolf armor? The blacksmith looks at you with fierce, cold eyes. Vic, for first noble, he replies. But nothing more. Who is Vic? He's the boss, the blacksmith replies. Has been for a long time, just making it official. The blacksmith quickly hammers something. And the noise makes your head spin. Oh, thank you, Sloth. Hopefully you're enjoying. I need to find the city nobles. They don't sharp here, he roars back. The blacksmith goes over to the back of his shop and downs a quick mug of ale. I best do work, he says as he returns. Begone. Then he begins to hammer so loudly you fear for your hearing, so you quickly run out of the shop. Okay. We've been up and down this road a few times. So I'm thinking now it's time to try to make our way to the fallen quarter if we can. Turn to the statue. Head up to the road toward the giant statue once more. Oh my god, we can go gamble again. Now let's Alright, we only have two choices, but let's take the left fork anyway. You follow the road around the side of the gambling hall to a wide open space, laid out for a market. There are several stalls, all selling the same goods. There are traders arguing loudly over who has the cheapest or the best quality. Ooh, lots of good items here. We've got to browse the magic items. You scour the market for items that might be useful to you in magic, but find nothing, except for one jeweler's stand, which, and amongst a lot of very expensive and overpriced jewelry, is offering a sun jewel for sale at the exorbitant price of 15 gold pieces. Look at the gem. You lift the gem and turn it over in your hand. It shimmers with an incandescent inner beauty, and you can see why someone might buy this as a trinket for their lover. But with the correct magic, you know that inner glow can be made into a powerful beacon of light. Haggle. You point out the jewel. Ooh, which do we say? A nice piece but fake? In lower Kara, these cost 10. Or do we just straight up say, I'll give you 10? I'm worried that if we say in lower Kara, these cost 10, he'll just say, well then go there instead. We can always go back, so let's accuse it of being a fake. Oh, so we have to go back, because that did not work. Look at the gem. Haggle. I'll give you 10. The price is 15, he says. If you cannot afford it, then you aren't the right customer. In lower Kara, these cost 10. The jeweler narrows his eyes, but you've certainly caught his attention. I'm certainly having trouble selling this particular piece, he says. Tell me, what was the name of the jeweler offering this price? Okay, I'm gonna guess Jula. Oh, you didn't buy it. Alright, let's try again. Let's try it again. Alright, look at the gem. Haggle. Lower Carly's cost 10. Heafy, let's try Heafy. Never heard of them either, darn it. Okay, we just have to tell them the other option then. So basically we're gonna say, oh, it's just some random vendor, you know. Just someone in the market, you reply. But he had a whole box of them. The jeweler chews his lip. Well, he remarks, I've had it a long time. I suppose a discount wouldn't be the end of the world. 10 gold pieces just for you. Perfect, I'm so happy with that. And hand over 10 gold pieces and the jeweler hands you the sun jewel. You place the precious object in your pack and walk away into the market. Ooh, what else can we get? Browse provisions. Browsing the stalls, you find that food is reasonably expensive, with the cheapest provisions being sold at 3 gold pieces each. One trader is also selling a wrapped package of 6 meals worth for 15 gold pieces. 3 gold pieces each. Or 6 for 15. I'm thinking we just buy 2. It's possible for them to get, like, damaged or whatever. And that's how we lost most of our rations to begin with. Okay, browse useful gear. You browse around stalls selling useful gear and items for travelers, and come across 2 things which might be useful. The first is a tinderbox for lighting fires. And thanks for the head pats, by the way. I'm seeing them all, I'm just not always responding, but yeah, thank you. First is a tinderbox for lighting fires, though it will not work without tinder. And the second is a bottle of snake bite antidote. Tinderbox costs 2, antidote 3. I'm thinking we just take the whole thing. 5 gold. Buy both. And then we'll take a look at the weapons, although, honestly, we have enough weapons, I think. We can sell the legendary sword, but no thank you. You take a turn around the armor stalls. Mostly what is on sale is of poor quality, or weaker than the blade you already carry. But something catches your eye, a fine bow with a quiver of silver-tipped arrows. Time to get high. It is time to get high, Chad. Alright, let me warm it up again. Looks like we might add some more fresh stuff to it. You lift the bow and test the string. It seems firm and responsive. And although you have little use for ranged weapons, this one seems hardy enough. The quiver is interesting. It contains 10 arrows, but each has a tip made not of steel, but pure silver. The armor nods at you significantly as you discover this, for you know what. How much? 6 gold piece. I mean, we're gonna get kind of low on cash, but we're gonna have bought pretty much everything, right? So kind of okay to do this. I feel like we're gonna be super prepared. Bow, anti-venom, tinderbox, sun jewel, legendary blade. I think we should go for it. Alright, cheers everyone. Absolute sloth. Every time is a good time to get high. I mean, vaguely speaking. Time to pour a little bit more juice. So, I like the bow, you tell the armorer. He makes a great fuss of packing it up, but eventually hands over the bow and the quiver. You pay him 6 gold pieces. Alright, move on through the market. Let's see, buy the well. Beyond the market is a street of tall, iron-fenced houses. You are entering a rich district, built in relative safety close to the wall, on the highest point of the land in the city. Few creatures live here, and it would seem that beggars are not tolerated. The streets are empty, and for the first time, clean. You pass a well with a pulley attachment built above it, but no rope. As you pass the well, you catch a brief snippet of song drifting up the well shaft, but you can't quite make out the words. Go and listen. You go over to the well and listen. A woman's voice is singing from somewhere deep in the earth. You can make out the words when you lean your ear over the well shaft. My dear, your fortune can be told. It will cross my palm with gold. If you will cross my palm with gold. Keep listening. You wait to see if the voice will sing any further, but there's only gentle humming, and perhaps the sound of lapping water. This feels like a waste, but wishes? Wait, what? You flick a coin into the well and wait for several seconds before you hear the plop as it hits the water. The well is clearly very deep. The voice sings out again. Throw down one more coin for me. 2 wishes will I grant for thee. Maybe we can read her mind from here? Yeah, tell. So we have tell, that's one thing. We could also create like fake gold. Illusions. Let's try tell. You put on the skull cap and cast the spell and attempt to read the thoughts of whatever creature inhabits the well, but you find nothing. Perhaps they are too far away and the well is certainly deep. Okay, let's give him some fake money. Okay, what else do we have? We have sus, magic protection, and also mud. Yeah, let's make a dud. You cast the spell, creating a mountain of gold and treasure, which you tip into the well piece by piece. The voice inside begins to sing deliriously, giddy with excitement at so much wealth. After a few minutes of this, a latch opens up in the side of the well house, which you had not noticed before. A tiny gnome clambers out. He reaches down into the well, unclasps a rope from one side, and attaches to it a pulley, then begins hauling up the bucket. What are you doing? You demand, but the gnome appears to not to notice you. It seems he is blind and maybe deaf as well. He continues to wind the pulley until the bucket reaches the surface of the well. All the water inside has drained away through the holes in the base, but there is the gold piece. The gnome tips these out into the pouch. Watch. With a workmanlike air, the gnome lowers the bucket, clips the rope away once more inside the well, and strolls away up the road. The well begins to sing again. Okay, wait, if we go back, we can maybe try to snatch his, pouch. So we drop the coin in, we cast the spell. Because, I mean, what's the worst that, like, a blind old gnome is gonna be able to do to us? Probably nothing, right? You reach down and snatch the pouch from the gnome, who jumps almost out of his skin, and then scarpers for cover in the well house once more. In the pouch, you find your gold piece, along with a giant's tooth that someone must have thrown in by mistake. So we have a second giant's tooth now, I think. 2 giant's teeth, nice. Outside the necropolis. You've reached a wide, desolate area fenced off by an overgrown iron railing. Inside, tall yew trees reach up to twice the height of the city wall. Beyond, this is the necropolis, the city of the dead for those who pass away in Kare with enough money to ensure their bodies are simply not tossed into the water. The road to the north gate passes straight through. It offers no way around. We look around. The main path is wide enough for processions and carts, but leading off are several smaller paths that wind between the trees and the headstones to all the different suburbs out of the graveyard. There are plenty of places for them to plenty of places for things to hide here. Oh Jesus. The cannabis is really affecting me now for sure. After the hubbub of Upper Kare, the necropolis has a silence which is almost deafening. Either side, listing gravestones crawl with small creatures. No flowers grow here. It is like the bodies give off poison as they rot. Everything here is dead, and yet this place is neither empty nor still. The wind whistles between the tall trees. The sun is setting behind the wall. Aw, thank you. Let's look around the gravestones. You step nervously off the path and walk between the nearest tombs. Some are ancient, headstones tilted to crazy angles, and some of them fallen face down, as though the citizens of this graveyard have been drinking since they died. A dabbit again, Nargo. Very well. Wait, let me finish the last sentence. Others are fresh, neatly carved, and clean of all moss and weeds. They sparkle in the moonlight, as though cleaned by maids and waiting for their occupants to arrive. Alright, here we go. Let's warm it up. I know, I'm just teasing you. Hope you guys are enjoying the stream. Even though we've only done this game for 2 days, on Wednesday we'll probably jump to something fresh again. But we can always jump to games that we played previously and continue. And if you guys feel strongly that you want to see something in particular, you can definitely tell me in the Discord. Thank you for all the love. Oh my god, thank you for that. You guys are just absolutely wonderful. So thank you so much, Sloth. In particular for that beautiful heart fill. But yeah, like as I was saying, just throw it in the general chat if you guys feel strongly. Like you could be like, Scarlet, please, can you consider playing this or that? Or I would really love to see you play this. And I'll definitely consider them. Aww, thank you, Sloth. Oh yes, the dab hit, right. Cheers, everyone. Alright, what are we gonna do? The newer tombs? Or the older tombs? I'm thinking newer, so if like the noble was turned undead or something, he's probably in a newer tomb, right? There are several tombs here. There must have been a recent play on the rich in the city. They are scattered around in roughly alphabetical groups. Okay, wait a minute. Let's consult our knowledge here. Lord Shinva. So we want an S name, right? Okay, oh god. So we want O through T. It took me a second to just make sure and figure out. Yes, Shinva's mausoleum. Although I do wonder if there may be items like littered around some of these places, but I don't think we want to take all night looking. You look from one headstone to the other. A few catch your eye, though you cannot immediately say why. You approach Shinva's mausoleum. Carved above the door is, "Here rests Lord Shinva, 5th noble of Kare." Your heart hammers. Is this the undead noble you were warned you would need to find? The door to Shinva's mausoleum seems to be unlocked and is a crack ajar, as though someone regularly came and went. Just in front is a ring of little mushrooms growing up against the front step of the mausoleum. It's a ring, chat. Remember, any of those circles, those are the traps, right? I think we have some information about that, do we? Portal traps. Well, I thought we knew that they're circles. Anyway, we've seen a bunch of circles, right? Beggars in the ruins. We need to find a blind beggar. So we found the Lorath. Wait, how many? 4 nobles know the spell. We're each given 1 line. So there's 4 lines. But there's 5 nobles? We've seen Lorath's one. Shinva is supposed to be a second one, or another one. Then first noble Sansis knows. He knows the full spell. Lord Tita. So we need to find Tita. Is he the blind beggar, maybe? This guy might be the blind beggar. This poem, I believe this is actually part of the spell. This must be the spell, because we learned one piece of the spell. Tumblers 2, sealed deep inside. And we look at the poem. Deep inside. Right? So these must be pieces of the entire spell. Okay. Look at the ring. Well, that's the thing, and every time it's a circle too, it's a perfect circle. You crouch down to look at the mushrooms. They look highly poisonous. Not least because you cannot see a single insect crawling around or under any of them. Unusually, the ring itself is also perfectly circular in shape. In its center, something silver glints, a stake pushed into the soft soil. Tail? That shouldn't do anything. There shouldn't be any minds to read, so we're just gonna try it because it's also harmless and costs nothing. Alright, well, I'll see you when you get back, Sloth. Have a good drive. Nothing here, nothing alive at any rate. Oh, it doesn't let me do another spell. Yeah, we're gonna jump over the ring. The air inside is freezing. Dust coats the floor. Urns line the walls. But there is no coffin. The floor space is empty except for in the far corner. There is a narrow stone staircase leading down into darkness. I wonder if we should take a potion. We've got 6 blinberry juices, which I think will help us. Yeah, I'll give us 3 stamina. That's pretty good. That's okay for now. Oh yeah, cast the spell. Oh, we have the sunstone now, right? The sun jewel. So we can make light. Sun. You cast the spell and the sun jewel in your pack begins to glow and ebb, growing brighter and brighter until it fills the room with a pale but brilliant light that reveals the mausoleum for what it is. Old stone and dust. Nothing worse than that. Your spirits soar. Schools peer at you from the walls. Unafraid of what you might find below, you make your way toward the stairs. But you must have stepped on some kind of switch, as behind you you hear a noise. And you turn to see the door swinging shut. Let it close. You stay back, not wanting to be crushed by the heavy stone door. It seals with a bang. The echo of the slamming door circles the room. Your light forms a pool around your feet. I'm like Warlight again. You cast the spell again and the sun jewel pulses cheerfully in reply. Feel the door for catches. You go over to the door, running your fingers around the edges of the stone, hoping to uncover a hidden catch. But it seems whoever made this trap didn't want their prisoners to escape. You find nothing. We could pray for aid. Let's just try that then. You close your eyes and raise a fervent prayer to the ape. For a moment, you do not think it is heard, and then somewhere underground you hear a mighty crash, as though a heavy weight had fallen from a fraying rope. The door judders in response. It seems the counterweight, which caused it to close, has come away, so you should now be able to open the door. Getting your fingers into the crack between the door and the wall, you're able to prise it open a fraction, and then a little further still, until the cool air of the graveyard is flowing into the mausoleum. You gasp with relief. Something rushes across your boots and into a crack in the stone. You have to go downstairs. You head for the stairs once more, holding your light out in front of you. You make your way cautiously down the ancient stairs into the dead earth. The walls are damp, and there's the foul smell of decay. The only sound is a dripping coming from somewhere in the depths. You emerge into a large dark chamber, lit only by the light from your sun jewel. A coffin occupies the center of the room, covered over by dust and spider webs. Wait and watch. You hang back, taking a few breaths to ensure the room is silent. Then that's when you hear the sound. A moan, a rattle of chains coming from inside the coffin itself. The lid is moving back. You hang back, watching, and that's when you see the ghostly figure emerging from one of the alcoves in the room. It is a death wraith, holding a cruel, hooked dagger, and sliding mercilessly towards you. I really wish I had a gold back mirror right now. I have a feeling illusions are not going to work on it. I doubt the jig. Oh, we don't have a jig. Illusion of worship. Well, that's not good. Let's throw a fireball at it. Well, I'm just gonna try the illusion because it's at least free. The illusion that I am dead. You create the impression that you are dead, just another corpse within the mausoleum. The death wraith is fooled and loses interest in you, but it does not abandon the crypt, hovering instead in the middle of the room like a curse. You will not run, you must find a way to kill it if you can. You abandon the illusion. You will die down here, the wraith whispers, in a voice like cold wind. I don't think silver arrows gonna hurt the thing. Silvers are more like for the werewolves, right? Uh-oh. You swing your sword with all your might, but it passes straight through the ghost. It seems normal weapons cannot harm it at all. The creature reaches out for your neck. You begin to choke, struggle. You twist and turn, but you only shake the last air from your lungs. Then, just as you think you'll never breathe again, a heavy blade is pushed into your heart, and you die from that instead. You have been stabbed in the dark. Let's try other things, like, we can throw a fireball at it. It's expensive. It's 3, oh no. You cast a spell building a powerful fireball in your palms, which you fling into Deathwraith, but the spectral creature only laughs as the burning missile passes straight through its phantom body. You will die down here, the Wraith whispers. Let's try the arrow. Oh. Working quickly, you unsling the bow from your back and notch an arrow. The Deathwraith grins with abhorrent glee until you let fly and the arrow strikes it in the arm. It howls with pain, shocked and angered at being hurt. Okay, wait, let's go back now and not waste those stamina's. Stay back, and we'll just shoot it this time. Okay, so we hit her once, fire again. What follows is a terrible fight. With every arrow you fire, the Deathwraith staggers back. But as you reload the bow, it creeps nearer again, slashing at you with its knife. As the quiver starts to run low, you know each arrow counts, and should even one miss, then Shidra's tomb will become your own. As you reach for your final arrow, the Deathwraith beams with glee. It is weakened, but not yet defeated. Fire the last arrow. You fire the last arrow. aimed directly at the Death Wraith's heart. The bolt flies true, and the silver arrow buries itself deep in the specter's being. It begins to flicker and fade, and then, with a last tortured gasp, it slumps to the floor. And, well, through it, melting away into the cold stone. The crypt becomes peaceful as the battle ends. But then, there's a creaking sound. What makes you look back at the coffin? It has opened and a figure is rising up. You wait. You watch as the figure takes shape. A very old man and no monster. Stranger, he declares. I am a quavering voice. I'm not saying. In a quavering voice. His throat thick with dust and cobwebs. I am in a great debt to you. Now, at last, can my soul die in peace? Tell me quickly before I am lost. How may I repay you? You stare in amazement. This must be the fifth noble, Lord Shinva himself. So obviously we need to get his spell wine. Quickly, tell me your line for the gate. I have come to find about the north gate. You come looking in a strange place then, the old man replies. The only gate down here leads to the underworld, and I have been denied it for a very long time. Okay, I'm looking for the first noble of the city then. I'm looking for the first noble of the city. Then I hope your mission is to kill him, the old man replies. The first noble will bring the city to wreck and ruin. If that does not happen already, since I've been down here, tell me, you grips your arms suddenly. Does Kare still stand? For now. He nods. You shall see what follows, perhaps. I will not. I met a fortune teller once. One named Sorcery. I need to stretch. Make sure I don't fade into the cannabis clouds. Okay, wait, take some sips of some strawberry juice. Alright. Let's try that again. For now, he nods. You shall see what follows, perhaps. I will not. I met a fortune teller once, a woman named Sorcery, and she showed me how Sansis would bring the city of fire and destruction. It was this knowledge that led to my fate, of course. Such is the way of fortunes. Trickles of dust rains down from the roof of the crypt. But you are Lord Shinva. The man nods. I am, or I was. Once the fifth noble of the city, would you believe? He smiles without humor. Only the ghost of a smile. And you? Who are you? I am from Adeland. Raises a dusty eyebrow. Adeland? What interest does Adeland have this way? Out of the ways of Kare. His eyes are piercing and shrewd, despite being so light, or despite being no light or soul behind them. I travel to the Bachlands. I see, so you need to pass through the North Gate, and for that you must know the spell. Perhaps you know it already? Let's say no. I know one line, Shinva replies. One lock made of golem's hide. I wish you luck finding the others. But tell me, what lies in the buckwines that Ainolin could want? Mapang and the crown of kings. Shinra startled. The crown? What of the crown? It has been stolen. He left deeply troubled. Then today is a good day to die. The crown of kings is an ancient artifact. You understand, from a time when the world was young, and great forces stalked the land. Whoa, forces too great for such as we to understand it today. Powers that could shape beings and minds with the slightest whim and mold the land and sea to their will. Only, do you understand what the crown does? It allows control. That is the simplest way to say, I suppose, though it is much more than that. Oh, only once was I in the power of the crown. Power of the crown, he shudders. As it passed from Ledel land to Bryce, I was an envoy at the court when it arrived. It has the power to turn your will to another's without you knowing that it is happening. You see, the power is that no one under the influence of the crown can ever revolt, as they do not understand that they are in servitude. So, wait. So, they passed around the crown, and that allows these kingdoms to kind of like pacify themselves. What can you tell me of the Bachlands? Very little. Oh, I remember one couplet. I don't know if you guys saw, but they're... Wait, never mind. Okay, so this is a piece of wisdom that he got as a child. For sleeping of the sleepless ram, she got the one they called a sham. That'll be a hint for later, I'm sure. May your life and fate be better than mine. I give the last of my life to you, he whispers as he flies back into his grave. Feel of cold strength flood your veins. Then turn quickly and make your way upstairs. Oh, we got healed from that, I think. Sounds like pieces of Eden from Assassin's Creed. Like the crown is. Yeah, that could be it. The door at the far end of the mausoleum is open. You return through the open door to the path, still shivering from your meeting with a ghost. You avoid the ring of mushrooms as you leave. Outside, night is falling and things are stirring between the moany trees. You would do well not to linger here. Decides to linger here. You leave the path for the oldest area of the graveyard in the corner nearest to the city wall. Most of the stones here are now near rubble. A few statues lie face down in the mud. A tree has split through carved stone coffin. You search between the ancient headstones for any offerings or grave goods left behind, but these tombs are hundreds of years old. Oh, welcome back, Sloth. No one visits them anymore, and offerings that were left long ago sunk into the clay. Find the oldest grave. Wait, Lorag? I thought we met Lorag. You soon find what looks to be the oldest tomb. It is in a small mausoleum with a low roof, supported by ornately carved pillars. An inscription reads, "Here lies Lorag, founder of Kare." That's strange. Didn't you meet a name named Lorag? Look at the mausoleum. The tomb is a simple stone cabinet, carved with the likeness of a man. From centuries of rain and wind, you could make out nothing of it but a long grisly beard. Below the inscription is a longer tablet, but it is half weathered and covered in moss. Clear the inscription. You clear away the dirt from the carved inscription, but you still cannot make out the words. Only traces of round lines with your finger. The eyes of the carved statue appear to be watching you. So let's make a rubbing. For rubbing to do instruction, you need some kind of charcoal, and you have nothing. That will do. You look for a crack to lever open the lid of the tomb, but find nothing. Presumably, if there was anything here to steal, it would have been long gone already. You head away from the tomb. Something scurries across your foot and is gone. You return to the path. Wait. Oh yeah. Okay. You return to the path gratefully and make your way to the far end of the graveyard. Beside the gate is a disused well, perhaps once used to draw water to wash the bodies before interment. You turn on the wind to one side, drawing up the bucket from beneath, and come to the top, filled with clear water. Look down. No, we don't need drinking any water because we're at 20 stamina. You walk for half an hour through thick trees along a narrowing track until you reach a fork in the road. To the left, the track gets narrower still. To the right, a massive shadow looms, so large it seems as though a colossus has seated itself on the wall throughout. A chill wind blows through you, as the ghost walks back and forth this way. Look at the shadowy shape. The shadow to the right has a jagged silhouette. It is a ziggurat with perhaps 100 steps leading to its apex. The trees whisper and move. Look down the left fork. You wonder if there's any money in that well? Oh. Yeah, but we're not jumping down the well though, you know? Especially now, since you have a few rations. Looking left, you see distant flicker torch light through the trees. The north gate, perhaps? Night is drawing in. You should get moving. We're gonna go to the ziggurat, because that sounds cool. You stand at the base of a towering ziggurat built from carved stone blocks, each the size of a hay bale. The temple rises higher than the city wall, and positioned to catch the first arrow, you think. Yeah. You tilt your head back, looking for an opening, and finally make one out. A small black dot about a third of the way up. But even that is quite some climb. For the less devoted worshippers, a small gargoyle with steps has its mouth open. Now let's climb up. Do we have a spell that'll help us here? Maybe we just make ourselves big. Oh, nice. We'll try big. Cast the spell. Swell into 3 times your size. You are now able to run up the stairs. But the scale quickly changes. It seems the builders of the pyramid created an optical illusion, and the later steps are not as high as the lower ones. The change is so gradual you hardly notice as the spell fades. You reach a halfway point, almost as high as the city wall beyond, and pause to rest. You're halfway up. Oh god, how's that pronounced? Oh, this is one of those weird words to pronounce, I think. The friezes? The friezes of gargoyles in polished metal ring now and polished metals, ringing the temple. Walk around to the north face. You move to the north face. You can see the path ahead, running straight between the wild and overgrown trees. It seems few people have come this way anymore. The north gate itself is not visible, however, and appears deserted. Then you notice a point of light. A torch has been lit between the trees. You leave the north face and walk to the other side of the ziggurat to look back at right across the city. Near to the ziggurat is the inky blackness of the graveyard, but beyond that you see torches outside the halls of Wada, ships' lanterns rocking the river, and the bustling inns of the dock front. You return to the steps of the ziggurat. The opening is still several minutes climb upwards, but it will take just as long to climb down from here. Did I say that we were gonna stop? You continue the weary climb to the first level of the ziggurat. You climb... Oh, we did lose one strand of my hair. You climb for another 20 minutes up the stone steps until you are gasping and panting for breath once more. But finally, you reach the dark opening that you saw from the base of the temple. The steps inside continue up a bit further still. The opening is guarded by rocks, sculptured images of unimaginable creatures. Beyond, you see a long, dark hallway with something large and gleaming at the far end. Treasure? You step into the temple. The hollow space amplifies your footsteps, and they echo eerily for several moments. On the floor, in gilt inlay, is written exactly the name, a name of the god who inhabits this space. And it seems this is the ziggurat of Korgot gloriousness. Graciousness, grace. Korga the Gracious. Ooh, I'm never should have listened, but I just went straight in. You stride inside, filling the hallway with noise. Then suddenly the ground under your foot moves, and you stumble backwards. You stepped on the body of an enormous serpent, who now rears up, bearing its finger. Ooh, that was the right move. The temple snake snaps and hisses at the air between you. You swing out wildly, hoping to chop it in two. As it also shoots forward, the snake lashes out wildly in its agony. Oh, he has one health left, so I think we just go pretty much all out here. The temple snake is retreating, but you give chase. You cleave the air with your sword with a weird scream that echoes around this cold stone. The snake dies, its head crashing to the floor. You wipe your sword clean and wait for the violent echoes of the fight to fade away. Then you go further in. The sight of the shrine takes your breath away. The walls are decorated with brightly colored murals depicting scenes from the religious mythology of Kare. Fine ornaments and precious metals are set in the alcoves around the pews, and rich, woven tapestries cover every surface. A cunning trick of architecture catches the wind past the doorway and creates a constant ethereal humming. So yeah. At the far end of the hallway, 4 large stone gargoyles of winged demons watch over the shrine from mounts high up in the caves. Guarding the altar, on which a gigantic idol squats. Steal something. Yeah. I'm afraid of stealing something if this is a god. Or should I go forward? Ooh. You walk up toward the altar, across a richly patterned carpet. Something about it gives you pause. Wait a minute, actually wait. Let's... No. Yeah. Let's actually take a look. If there's a gold jewel over here, we could really use one of those. The temple is cluttered with so many valuable artifacts, it's hard to decide where to begin. There are sculptures, plates, candlesticks, and shields of solid gold. A table covered with a silk cloth holds a crystal decanter and 4 golden goblets. In another corner, a fountain showers out with an endless stream of diamonds and small jewels. Let's take a handful of jewels. Go over to the fountain, gazing in wonderment at the sparkling splendor that issues from its spout. You could simply put your pack underneath the stream, open, and make enough money to hire an army to take you to Mapang. You take a fistful of the jewels, but then you freeze. The humming sound in the temple has become louder, and you have a strong sense something is watching you. You turn your gaze up and see nothing. But wait a moment. Weren't there 4 stone demons up in the rafters above the altar before? The gargoyles are flapping in the air above you. They are still stone, but now their jaws are working, and their teeth snap at the air in front of their faces. You begin to ready a spell, but the creatures know a sorcerer when they see one. In moments, one has dived for your right arm, and with a single bite, severs it clean away. You look down in horror. You will not be able to cast any more spells now, or wield your sword well. The gargoyles hover back a little, perhaps hoping that the punishment has been suitably severe. Whoa. Take a goblet? Wait. I know we need more music, but hold on. Oh wait, there it is. Okay. So if we just draw our sword instead of casting a spell. Oh, Jesus. Okay, so that basically is a no-go. I didn't think we were able to steal. That's why originally we weren't going to, but I just second-guessed myself. You walk up toward the altar across the richly patterned carpet. Something gives you pause. Its surface is decorated with white symbols. They seem too deliberate to be accidental. I think we just avoid the circles, right? You walk up to the altar, stepping carefully around the circle in the carpet, and reach the altar steps without incident. You stand before the idol, a fat statue set with gems and curious pockmarked features. Above his head is a plaque that bears an inscription. On Korga's face, you kiss a cross and finish with the lips. For answers to your questions, you must not err. Else he spits. Stand on your tiptoes and lean in, preparing to kiss the statue. But where? Does the humming in the temple seem to be getting louder? The cross. So we're gonna go left, right, hear something flittering the upper levels of the temple. Forehead, and then lips. Finally, you lean low and kiss the idol's lips. As you straighten once more, you see the idol's eyes flick open. A soft voice issues from its mouth. "Stranger, you are not of my faith," whispers the god, "and yet you have completed my ritual. How can that be?" "I have used my wits." The god laughs softly. "My brother Pashna is the god of thieves and tricksters, but you are in my temple today. I will answer 3 questions if you have questions to ask." Take a moment to think over everything you have learnt and not learnt about the North Gate spell. but you have only learnt a very few of the spell lines. Ooh. Can you just tell me the spell for the gate? I cannot tell you the spell, Korga replies after a long and mysterious pause. Only the nobles know. Mulus, Shinva, Tita, and Lorai. But know this as well. You must know the order of the lines to successfully open the gate. Okay, I think we know the order because we have the poem that we found in the sewers. So we need to find out where this person and that person are, so... Where can I find Lord Mulas? The second noble has been dead for a long time. Although he does not stay dead, he moves around the lower part of the city, a half-decayed, half-animated corpse. And we're going to find Lord Tita. Is now blind and Becky in the ruined part of the city, but know this, he does not want to be found. A great silence descends across the room, and the god speaks once more. Now, he intones, I have a question for you. You have completed my ritual. Do you wish to enter my worship? What sort of god are you? I am the god of grace. There are few as generous as I.
That's too damn bad!
I'm tired of this, Grandpa. That's too damn bad. That's hilarious. So, do we change? I mean, I think if we take him, then this will no longer be, our spirit guide. I think this is a big decision to make, potentially. I don't know if this is a good idea or a bad idea. I'm kind of worried that it's a bad idea. Hold on, I feel like I gotta search this up. Alright, chat. Let's see. Oh yeah, sorcery. Horga. Is he worth keeping as a spirit guide? Other gods you find on the journey will interact with you more directly than the spirit guides, for good and ill. There's a bit of unique stuff for all, so it's a matter of taste. I personally kept my gorilla all the way. But they're undeniably cool. Okay, let's see, this person says, ooh, some of these might be spoilery, but Korga heals for more stamina, but he also insists on honorable behavior from his worshippers. If you plan on killing someone in cold blood, this is not the god for you. Okay, let's not take him. I'm a little worried about that, you know what I mean? So... no. So be it, Korga answers. There is a brief murmuring as Korga blesses you, gracious even in rejection, and then the temple falls quiet once more. You turn and head out of the temple door. You'll climb to the top. You turn back to the steps and climb higher all the way to the top of the ziggurat. Night has fallen. Stars spread across the sky in a peaceful repose that belies their true nature. Warring spirits tussling for control of the world below. Look at the stars. With your head tilted back, you can see more stars than you ever have seen in this city. Perhaps you are above the level of the lights in the smog and the dust, or perhaps more stars chose to cluster here, around this sacred site. If you were a true mage, and not a mere sorcerer, who knows what spells one could weave at a spot like this? Alright. Try to fashion a spell. I think we should look this one up again. So, sorcery as ziggurat spell. Ooh, secret spells. We could summon a rainstorm. That seems worthless. We gain luck. Obtain magical item. Ooh, this is what we want, really, right? Okay, what do we want? We want the gold back mirror, I think? Or we could have the black face mask. Let's do that one then. Gold, we wait for gold sparks, it says. Okay. The goldback mirror lets us summon, I think, copies of other creatures? So we can have creatures fight themselves? Okay, so we do attack. Unknown. You fashion the stars into alignment, and the enchantment is created. You feel a tingling sensation in your wrist, and you look down and see flashing sparks in your palm. They flicker different colors, for a moment gold and white and black. Wait, what was it? Yeah, close fist. I close the fist. You flex your fingers, ready to grip the sparks, which begin to flash faster and faster. Perhaps the shade of spark is important. Will you grab a certain color or trust to chance? Wait for gold sparks. You close your fist tight. The sparks are hot in your palm, but the pain fades quickly. And when you reopen your fist, you find you're now holding a gold-backed mirror. The sparks and the spell itself are gone. You have found one of the secret spells of the Temple of Korga. The icy wind chills you to the bone. Look at the view. You look out across the city. In the far distance, you see the torches in the woods toward the north gate. Looking back, you see the lights of Kare coming on, and the shouts of revelers, drunks, and nighttime thieves. Yeah, we did that magic. The real magic. The view is quite wondrous, but your journey beckons. You start the long climb down the ziggurat once more. climb back down as easier going. Halfway down, you pause to rest. Look at the view. You look out to the north. The road to the north gate is linked by thick trees and forest, though the branches of which, through the branches of which you see moving torches and hear the distant baying of wolves. Wait longer. Half an hour passes, nothing changes, except that the sky grows colder and the wind picks up, cutting through your cloak. Climb down. You have seen enough. You climb quickly back down the steps and retrace your steps to the fork in the road. The mud underfoot is stamped with footprints, and between them, the prints of many paws. That sounds dangerous. You walk between clawing trees and thick bushes. The north gate is finally in sight. You can see its imposing, ornately carved wooden doors over the top of the guard huts and low buildings that lie at the end of the road. Look at the guard huts. You pause to watch the guard huts. They seem quite still. One has a hole in its roof. Weeds grow through the chimney of another. Are they abandoned? But between here and there is a long road, lined by thick and gloomy trees, a patch of wild forest like you haven't seen since the hills. Go cautiously. You make your way forward slowly forward, trying to ensure your feet do not crunch too loudly on the gravel. Something catches your eye, movement in the shadows, on both sides of the road, torchlight. You stop, ducking into the shadows, and watch. Whatever is moving in the darkness, there's a lot of them. Then a gleam of moonlight catches one, and you can see it clearly. A wolf, clad in tight metal armor. No, a werewolf. And the armor is the same as the one you saw before. No matter, you have defeated werewolves before. You open your mind to the patterns of the stars above, but just at this last moment you freeze. One werewolf you could probably defeat with a spell, but suddenly there are more. 10, 20, 30 werewolves pad down from the shadows onto the path, forming an arc in front of you.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that
That's
really
a
got
lot.
out of hand fast.
Maybe we can bluff them? You wait, tensed and ready to run if necessary. Then you notice a man stepping from the tree line beyond. Who goes there, he demands, friend or foe? Friend. Vic for first. No, I believe this is like a password, because that's what like the blacksmith said to us. The man does not respond. It's clear he's waiting for something, but for what? Vic for first noble. The man sighs a huge sigh of relief. Well met, friend. He answers, Vic for first noble. Ask him about the wolves. The teeth of Vic, he replies. 500 slaves with new purpose. The guard will not stand against them, and they will keep the peace. I'm going to be chief of police in the new Carre. I'm a good man to know. With that, he whistles to his wolves and sweeps away into the night. You breathe a heavy sigh of relief. So we've bluffed them. You've reached the north gate. The ground before it is wide and clear, and lit with blazing torches set into brackets either side of the enormous sealed doors. Should there be archers hiding in the shadows, they would have a clear sight on you. Off to one side is a well, but there is no cover. You don't know all the spell lines, of course, but perhaps the gate will open to a adopt spell after all? Cast a spell. But you've gained a force field. If we were worried. Get a wind. We've never tried it, but let's just try the house spell. Is it gonna tell us like how to get through, or is it gonna make us go backwards? You cast the spell, and a calm voice enters your mind, telling you there's no one. There's only one way out of this clearing, through the great double doors. However, you can't help noticing the spell leaves you with one other impression: that although this clearing has one way out, there are two ways in. Wait and watch. You wait in the shadows and watch. If the guards are patrolling, you should be able to learn their patterns. But strangely, there's no guards here at all. Perhaps because the gate is locked and no one bothers to guard it anymore. There's nothing else for it. Throwing caution to the wind, you step out of the shadows and approach the gate. Time to see if you have learned enough on your travels through the city to unlock the gate. You reach the other side of the clearing unscathed and stand below the enormous doors. You don't know the whole spell. You knock firmly on the door. There's no response. You call out, "I'm here to open the gate." There's no response. You begin to wonder if you've been tricked, if there's no gate here at all, and this is simply an illusion painted across a solid stone wall. However, you're not alone. A phantom issues from the wood itself. "Halt, stranger," it booms. "Do you know the spell which controls the gate?" "I do." I don't know the whole thing, though. You know a few, although you realize you do not know the order in which the lines go. "Then I wait your command," the voice booms. From across the clearing you hear a scrabbling sound of metal on stone, but no time for that now. You close your eyes and try to recall the scratched poem in the steward chamber. Yeah, no, neither of these is the first line. Oh god, alright, hold on. Let's try this again. And